And we're back. It's been what, 5 weeks?
5 weeks.
How long has it been? It's been a long time, guys.
A long time.
And the reality is, we basically got separated after this whole thing started, the whole move. And we were like, that's it. We're going to divorce. And then we just decided, you know what? Let's give it another shot. So we're back with another chat with Sweetie. We're only staying together because of the podcast after this whole move.
It's true. But it's the jingle.
We actually, that's it. That's what's keeping us together. We actually moved into a new house. And I got to say, we fucking made it, Sweetie. We made it. It was a rough couple of weeks. If you can say weeks, it's been a long time.
It's been since February.
So I think we should start talking about that. Everybody, just welcome again to Chats with Sweetie, a podcast where Belen and I just go to therapy in front of all of you and poor Sergio, who sits right behind the keyboards and helps us with everything. So welcome again. You can find us in every single platform that you could possibly imagine. So there's that.
Here we are.
So here we are. Sweetie, we finally moved into a new house. Can you please explain to everybody what the process was from day one up until getting in that fucking house?
Yeah. Are you okay? Because it looks like you're hanging on by a thread.
I am extremely tired. I went for a run finally.
For the first time in a while.
Apparently someone's keeping tabs on my running.
So they understand how tired you are.
And I went for a run in the new neighborhood, and I thought I came back. I finished everything. I was like, I'm great. I'm good to go. And as I was taking a shower, all of my energy went into the drain along with the water that was like grazing my body. And it just disappeared. And now I feel like dying. And I have so much shit to do today. So that's my update.
Great. I'm glad you brought your high energy to the podcast.
Are you ready to bring some of your high energy while you tell us a great story about how was the process of moving into the new house? Because we finally fucking made it.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were going to make it, but we did.
So it's been quite the journey. So let's see. We moved out of our house in Hidden Hills February 4th. And my poor news tired too. So basically from February 4th, honestly, till April 1st, we've been displaced. So we stayed with some friends in Hidden Hills for 7 weeks, and
which they were awesome.
They were awesome.
Letting us stay in their house.
We stayed in their guest house. We had, everything that we needed. We even had a gym. We were super comfortable, but obviously then came the time to make the official move to Austin. So we got to Austin March 15th, and the first Airbnb that we booked, there was no inventory for Airbnbs because of the storm, and people were still super displaced. So the first Airbnb that we got was in downtown Austin, which, we went from being in Hidden Hills to like the suburbs to just smack right in the city. And what? Did you forget about it already?
No. I'm just thinking about Belen, like living her best life in Hidden Hills and going for walks with all of her fancy friends. And just like, the worst thing that happened in Hidden Hills was like there was squirrels crossing the road. Like that was as dangerous as it got.
Yeah.
And then we get to Austin, which, by the way, we moved out of LA City because the homeless problem is fucking tremendous. And a lot of people are going to be, oh, how dare you talk about that? Now, we got to address that problem at some point with all of the people and really dig into it, because the problem is not really just homeless. It goes way beyond that. But the crime in LA has been insane. And the homeless in LA are violent because they know the rules don't apply to them.
Right.
Because it's the way the law is written. So in here, we show up. They dropped us right in the middle of the city. And again, there was no Airbnb that had like all the time that we were going to stay at one Airbnb.
Oh, we'll get into that. Don't worry.
Because of the lack of inventory, because of the storm that happened, and so many people are displaced in Texas and in Austin. So of course, the swipe legend keeps going forward.
It was brutal.
And we found a little Airbnb, a little quaint little house right by Cesar Chavez in 2nd, probably, something like that.
We were in East Austin.
It was straight up right behind the house, straight up right behind the house. All of the homeless camping was right there. And in her defense, and the stress that she had is completely understandable, because our homeless are dangerous as fuck. In here, homeless people are not like LA homeless people. In here, people know you're packing a gun, or there's a chance that you have a gun. So they don't fuck with you. Yeah, but they don't know that. They don't know that. There's a lot of Karens that hold a gun inside of their purses, ready to shoot the first Mexican that crosses in front of them. You know what I mean? So the homeless know that. So they don't attack you. In downtown LA, they've attacked your friends, haven't they?
No, yeah. Like my friends have gotten punched.
They've tried to burn my buildings, like all of that good stuff. So I'm sorry to interrupt you. You were saying we got smacked, like dropped into that Airbnb.
And it was just obviously emotions were running high, you know, that we got the animals. It was so much. So we were only in this Airbnb we were only able to reserve it for 5 days. That being said, the Airbnb itself was comfortable and fine. And obviously there was pluses of being in the city. Like we had restaurants, we had everything that we needed. So after about 20 minutes in the house, we looked for a new Airbnb and there was nothing available till that Sunday. So we got there on a Monday. We relocated that Sunday to another Airbnb in Dripping Springs.
Did we go straight from there to Dripping Springs? No, we went to the trailer place.
Right.
From the trailer place,
Okay,
we went to Dripping Springs.
We went to okay. So now they have a lot of Airbnbs that are in like trailer homes, and it was amazing.
It really was.
It was amazing. It was a brand new 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. Like it was very comfortable and very close to our house. So, but that only had 4 fucking nights available. So we kept thinking, okay, if we put pressure, like with the renovations, they'll have it done, blah, blah, blah. Obviously not. So we were in that Airbnb and like Alejandro definitely like was hanging on by a thread. Like he was not well. He was being very short-tempered. He was having multiple meltdowns. And by the way, not that I was enjoying moving, let's be very clear, but there was nothing that I could do as far as the inventory. Like I begged the people, I was like, can we please extend? We're like in this weird limbo that we're trying to move into our home, but it's not available. No luck. I found the third and last Airbnb, which was the best Airbnb, the Dripping Springs.
Yeah. Oh, that house was
amazing.
incredible. Yeah.
It was huge. The backyard was enormous.
Which, by the way, you like Dripping Springs? Now that we live here, now I feel like
It was a cute area.
that traffic was insane.
But it's so funny that you think that's traffic. Now you're getting used to not traffic.
But now that was annoying because every time I had to go in and out, I really thought about like leaving the house. I was like, this traffic is ridiculous because there might have been a school or something right.
There was
by
schools there.
It was nuts. I haven't seen anything like that since basically downtown.
Yeah.
Like I haven't seen anything like that. So I did not enjoy Dripping Springs. It's really cute. Like that house was insane. It really made me look because I was like, this house can't be that expensive. I'm going to see if we can just buy another property and rent it out to people or whatever. Yeah. And I started looking at prices. The only house for sale in Dripping Springs were $4 to $20 million. What the fuck is happening in Dripping Springs? Anyways, I'm sorry.
I don't know. But it's a cute spot for dinners. Let's just say that.
It was.
So we stayed there and we had to tell like, you know, all the workers, like we have to move in on April 1st. Like, we cannot change Airbnbs. We're going to end up getting divorced. And also there was the pressure of my birthday being that weekend. And I was like, we have to be in the house. Like we can't also you guys have to understand, we've not had our things for 2 months. Also,
3 months.
I forgot to put in here that our furniture arrived 2 weeks early. So we had to store all of our belongings in the garage. So there was just so many layers of stress and anxiety that was like going into like everything that could have gone wrong was going wrong. And we could not deal with being in another Airbnb. Like we needed to be in our bed. And literally like one of Alejandro's friends was like, bro, are you okay? Like you're wearing the same thing every day.
Oh,
and he's like, this is all I have.
I was sitting with Keith and Keith goes, dude, are you okay? You've been dressing up in the same clothing like every single day I see you. And I go, yeah, dude, I don't have my things because I haven't moved to my house. So I've been, dressing with the same 6 things that I've had for 3 months.
Literally.
And he goes, do you want some jeans? I can get you some jeans. And I go, hang on.
Let's not get crazy.
Let's not get crazy here. I always wear sweats. I just don't have my other 100 pairs in here. And he goes, what? So I came, as soon as I got my things, the first set that I put on was the one that looks like a Persian rug. And he goes, you really weren't fucking around. You got uglier sweats now. I'm like, yep.
Honestly, when I was unpacking our closet, I was like, wow, he has so many sweats.
Well, yeah, that's what I wear. And then he was asking me, he goes, do you go to the bank like that? I'm like, yeah.
You're like, actually, I don't go to the bank.
He goes, what about when you have a meeting? I'm like, what about it? Do you go like that? I'm like, why wouldn't I? Yeah. This is me. Like, what the fuck am I going to show people like in a suit? Like, is it going to give me more value to what I know? Like, I don't understand.
You're
why.
like, no, I left my Hermes buckle better.
He was blown away by it. Yeah. He was blown away. I think until today, he can't believe that this is just me.
Yeah. Although, shout out to them because they've been awesome letting us keep our cars there.
Oh, that's at Ferrari of Austin. Yeah, because we also don't have the cars, which
Yeah. That was another element. We were just like juggling the cars.
well, the first week we couldn't have a car because we were in
were-
homeless central.
yeah.
And if we brought a nice car, we would have been in LA you would be murdered. In here, I think
100%.
nothing would have happened, but
Yeah. So basically that is our journey. And we finally, our first night in the house was April 1st on Thursday, April Fool's Day, of course, that we moved. And it was fucking glorious.
it really was. So the process of moving was really a pain in the ass because of the Airbnbs not being settled from one place to another. How did that affect you?
What affected me the most was like knowing you were so like uncomfortable. I got to a point where I was like, okay, my toiletries are getting packed up again in 3 days. It was more like making sure like you were comfortable, it wasn't affecting your work, like you being able to like do what you need to do every single day. And like Fiona and Tata, like all of us are like, everyone's like, why are you packing me up again? And I think just like the anxiety of knowing, fuck, we're only here for 4 days and we need to go somewhere else. And we don't know where we're going because there's nothing available. So for me, that was like the worst kind of part. And then also like unpacking our things, like even as simple as like the coffee, the French press, our waters, like making sure everything was still available and familiar so that we didn't feel so displaced, like bringing the Apple TV, you know? So what about for you?
I mean, just not having my own space, my own time, my own, like, I never had like a second to myself. When we were at our friend's house, I don't want to be the guy that's in the backyard, like that shows up and everybody walks in with the family and they're like, why is there like a homeless looking guy in the backyard? Like, I never wanted that. So I had to stay inside, and staying inside kills me. Kills me. I never realized that, but it probably does to everyone, by the way, because for a long time, I didn't want to go outside, and I was comfortable inside, and I'd watch TV and do whatever I had to do inside. And when I started going outside, I was like, man, the world is really fucking incredible.
Well, it was quarantine that really made you realize that.
Yeah. And I was like, outside is amazing. And being inside really gets to you. And it really got to me right now because I couldn't be outside at all. I could
You
have,
could.
but I wasn't going to be that guy. I'm not that guy. So I didn't want to be outside there. So for 2 months while we were there, I couldn't do anything.
Well, I mean, you could have gone on walks.
I just like the going in and out. It really gave me.
Hey,
No.
we all have our things.
So I didn't have that, and I didn't have anything that was mine. And then from there, because the whole point was we were going to move to Texas right away and just get an Airbnb and be here. And instead, we'd stay there for another 2 months. So I couldn't get on with my life. I couldn't start anything that I had to start. And at the same time, we were working on launching the biggest fucking product and business that we've ever done. So between not being able to do any of my regular stuff, having to do that, and not being able to kind of do everything, it's been a mess. From there, we started going from one Airbnb to another. And my biggest problem was because you were so nervous about like Fiona and leaving and with the homeless, I couldn't do anything.
I mean, that
So-
was for 4 days.
For 4 days. And then we started going somewhere else. And it was like, someone's got to be with Fiona. Someone's got to do this. So yeah, to me, it was like, I just can't do anything. My life is shut. Like, you know, I'm getting asked to do everything and excel at everything. And I just can't. So I'm just going to deal with whatever I can right now and then do the rest later. That was my problem. There was never like a chance for me to do it all like what I had to do. It was more of a, well, what are you going to eat dick on, right? So I had to pick what I was going to eat dick, and it was a certain kind of work that I had to eat dick on, and it is what it is. And that really affected me tremendously because you just want to do your best. You want to perform in every single level of your life, and it's impossible when shit's not settled for you, when you're not 100% like you don't have your own time. When you don't own your own time, that's the biggest problem. And to me is I've worked so hard to own my own time. And for 3 months, I have not owned my time for 1 minute. And even then, now that we're at the house, they're still like, you got to stay here and do this. And there's got to be someone for this. And there's got to be someone for that. And then afterwards this. So I still haven't really had that much room to have my own time and buy it back. But I'm getting there. And then after all of this shit, I've been working my ass off on this one thing that we were going to be traveling to Mexico for right now. Sergio is. He gets to do it. But I can't because, and this is what I love doing, by the way. We're launching this thing in Mexico, and all of the people that are a part of it, we're going to go down there and like do all the photo shoots and take all the pictures that we need for the launch of the product and like the website and for the Instagram and the Facebook and all that stuff. And I was really looking forward to that because I haven't traveled in a long time. Like, or have I?
Not really.
I haven't traveled in a long time. So I want to really, I really want to get in that rhythm. So I was really excited about that. And then we got on the mail in LA, like a letter from the US government, like, hey, you're eligible to get your citizenship, Mr. Salomon. So you kind of have to go tomorrow to LA. And I was like, fuck. I'm going to get
the day
on
before we were moving, obviously.
So I was like, all right, I need to get on a plane. So I got on a plane. I went to do it. And normally you do your test for your citizenship. And 3 months later, they actually give you all of your shit at a big ceremony with a lot of people. There's like normally 15,000 people. So I went to that thing. I finished and they're like, are you ready to be a citizen of the United States? I was like, yeah. They're like, are you ready to be sworn in today? I'm like, wait. Normally this happens 3 months away from now or like 5 months later. That's what you guys told me. And they go, well, yeah, but because of COVID, we're going to do it right now with all these other 20 people that are there. So I was just all there by myself receiving like this one thing. And you know how you were saying like how it feels horrible that every 4 days you have to move from one Airbnb and not be settled? Mm-hmm. Like that's what being an immigrant in this place fucking feels like. For years, I had to get like my OPT visa and like all these fucking work visas renewed every year. And then I was able to get my green card. And then when it was 3 years, and then when it was 5 years or 10 years, whatever it was. And then this one expired again. And it's like you never feel like you can be here. And if anything goes wrong, you fucking, I don't know, you get a DUI or something that you do wrong, they can kick you out of the country and finish your life. Like instantly. It takes no time whatsoever for them to be able to do that. So to me, I was getting to that moment. Like that's what that feels like your whole life while you're here and you don't have a US passport and citizenship. So that day was like a really special day and it's a big day for everybody. So I was like amongst all these people that are crying and like taking pictures and saying all this shit and no one's with me. And I'm like, all right, I got it. I get my citizenship. They give it to me and they take away my green card. I'm like, hang on. Because a green card is kind of like a visa. Without it, you can't come back into the country. I'm like, hang on, what are you doing? And the guy goes, well, you need to get your American passport now. There's no need for a visa. You're an American citizen now. Why are you laughing?
I have nothing.
Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
We'll get to it.
Why are you laughing?
We'll get to it.
I want to know why you're laughing. It's right now is how we're getting into it.
How you walked into the house with your little American flag.
And by the way, Belen was like pissed off that I went there and everybody again was crying and whatever. She's like, I'm not going to help you with any of the paperwork that you have to do.
No, you're missing a huge part that you're not going to disclose. So that's not fair to say that I was.
I'll disclose it, but I won't say what it is. I also had him adjust my name. So change my name, if you will. So in all of your IDs, you got to change your name. And when I finished and they gave me my certificate, it's got my own name now. And by the way, this happened literally this week. So I had to, when I get it, they tell me like, there's nothing you can do, dude. You need to get your passport. So I go and look up like, how fast can I get a passport? That's 4 weeks. And I need to change my social security number to my name too. So it really fucked me good.
Well,
so I called Belen. I'm like, after all of this, and I'm seeing everyone so happy.
By the way,
I got my citizenship.
Hang on.
This is what I got.
I don't even know that you get sworn in. Like, I don't know any of this process. I had no idea you were gonna have a ceremony. Neither did you. You said that you were going to like.
I understand.
Take a test.
I understand. So when that happens, I'm like, I'm officially an American citizen. She goes, this is the first thing I get. I'm not helping you with your name change on your documents.
Because it's no joke, you guys. When I got married, it is such a fucking process. And he's like, haha, in the middle of the move, I also just decided to do this. P.S.
Everybody else in that place was crying. They were going to go celebrate. They were having a party. And
I didn't know any of this happened.
So it's been just like raining on me. It's such a beautiful thing, honestly, to be able to just be an American citizen and now I can be a fucking dick because I know they can't fucking get me out of this country. Now they're done. That's it. I am a permanent piece of bacteria in this place. You can't get rid of me now. I'm happy about that. So I felt like that was a really nice moment for me. I just didn't really get to enjoy it or anything because it also took away the biggest launch of anything I've ever done in my life.
Hasn't. I mean, the entire thing was just a big clusterfuck.
So how did it affect you, you would say, in general?
You getting your thing?
No, the whole process of everything.
Oh, the move.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's been not having a actual foundation and routine, and the same thing. It's not like I had any time to myself, or haven't been able to be. Was a lot.
Yeah, it really gets to you. And by the way, you guys got to plan on that.
And I'm really sensitive, around to others. Like I'm always nurturing. It's my nature. So I could really feel that he wasn't happy and uncomfortable. So I was overcompensating, making sure everything I could do to make sure could be as comfortable as possible. But the reality was we also talked, we knew this was going to be rough, and
so how did it affect our relationship?
I mean, we definitely had a lot of moments where we wanted to kill each other.
But why?
Because neither one of us had space. We were on top of each other all the time. And, you get not you, I mean, as a human, you get testy and feisty when you don't have any time to yourself. And we went from being in a 6,000 square foot house to a bedroom.
Yeah.
So, it was just it was a lot, but we came out of it, I think.
Yeah, I think what gets you is just the expectations of the other person in a relationship. That's what I was paying attention to, because you see it, right? Because everybody says, man, good luck surviving a remodel. And you're like, they're just changing things in my house. I don't have to stress about anything. But there are things that us as humans are apprehensive towards, we just can't let go of. And we create anxiety in our worlds for ourselves. And then when we do that for ourselves, we do it for the others. And it just starts to pile up, right? And all these expectations have to be met. And all these problems have to be solved. And all these deadlines have to be met. And when you already are moving and then thinking about, and to me, I'll say it nice and simple. We had our anniversary. We had your birthday that we had to worry about on top of all the shit that we were worrying about. And then that was it's a big deal. And then whenever you're moving from one house to another and we get the call from, the US saying you can come get your passport, which I understand to you sounds like a great excuse for me to leave. But this is something that I've looked forward for 15, 16 years of my life, right? For anyone that's watching here that's not a US citizen, that's a dream for those motherfuckers. And he was more taken of course he's leaving now that we're moving into the house. So all of those pressures that you build on yourselves should not you should be really aware of those and see if you can alleviate those pressures in one way or another, because it is too much to handle at the same time dealing with that. And I'm guessing also our situation about being an Airbnb from Airbnb to another Airbnb from the other house was crazy. And I don't recommend that. So if you can just stay in one place and just commit to it and say, fuck it, it is what it is, and go for it, do that. If you can alleviate any pressure of any commitments that you have coming up while you're doing that and having a bad time, do that. Be smart about it. Don't just go through life like it's a regular other day, because if you're miserable on one side, then everything else starts to pile up in a bunch of expectations that will never be met. That's what my advice for everybody is.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think I was doing my best every day while trying to not drown, and also be in a new state, leaving everything else behind. And just as a side note, regarding your appointment, it was more of course this is happening this week, the same week that everything else is happening, because I was the first one to book your trip and make everything comfortable for you.
Of course.
So that's also not really you kind of threw me under the gutter there. It was more of course the week we're finally moving, that is just our luck that would happen. But it also ended up being a great thing for you, and also a major
fucking horrible thing. Yeah. But I understand what it is. So in a way, I'm very sad that I'm missing out what we're doing right now, because it's a fucking big deal. And I put all together. But
on the other side of the coin,
it is what it is. I can be bitter about it. I already made a plan. I already passed it on to Sergio. I passed it on to Rod. I passed it on to Hookah. Like, we know what we're doing. We're ready. It's just, it's still like, it's damn it, because it hasn't happened. I'm not one of those people that gets attached to the past and I'll regret it forever and I'll always be thinking about it. But right now, while I can go and I know that I can get on that on the plane, just never come back to the U.S., really bothers me. But, you know, it is what it is. It's a good thing in a bad thing and a bad thing and a good thing. So I'm not complaining too much about it. So now that the house is a little bit more settled, right? Would you say a little bit more settled?
Yeah, I mean, there's like about like a week more of like just like the punch list, as they call it.
Yeah, just finishing up some stuff that they haven't finished and then just fixing all the, you know, the little details. But other than that, now there's plans for the future. You're leaving town. Sergio's leaving town. Rod's leaving town. I'm staying in town.
Everyone pray for Alejandro.
No.
All of his babysitters are gone.
No, this is my dream right now. It's incredible that you guys look at it like that. But I love being alone more than anyone could possibly understand. So I'd like to know. So I'd like to know, sweetie, what is your plan right now? You're leaving town? You're leaving me right now? Why? What's going on? What's happening?
I need a motherfucking break. So I'm leaving town. I'm going to LA for 4 days. I'm getting my Invisalign removed. Very exciting appointment that I have. And I haven't done any work like for the brand in for sure like 6 weeks. So I'm going to go to my manufacturer, reassess, talk about like some new pieces that I'm going to be designing and dropping hopefully by summer. And I'm going to see my parents.
Sweet.
So I to be honest, I'm excited, but also like, oh my God, like I just want to be in one spot, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I think it's going to be great for you to have alone time for 4 days and just be with Tata and Fiona and decompress. And same thing for me. Like, I mean, I'm not really going to be decompressing, but at least like I can kind of do things for myself for like a couple days and not be, you know, playing mom.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I'm gonna take the time off right now because there's nothing I can do for like a month other than just writing stuff and making sure it's all good. I'm writing some stuff for Sergio and I to shoot here. We have some interesting concepts to play with as far as like YouTube goes. But other than that, it's just getting on to the next release right now for what we have planned, which I'm excited about. I want to just get back to be able to shoot what I want to shoot with Sergio. But the reality is now my time is taken more into this new thing that we're going to be doing. So to me, it's going to be a nice challenge to figure out what our schedule, what our flow of things is going to be like now. Because it's going to change completely.
Okay.
And I'm trying to figure out how to make it all work without sacrificing anything and without driving myself crazy or Sergio crazy or anybody crazy. Like, it's just a matter of figuring everything out. Like, always, right? Like, this is my life. Everybody goes, where do you see yourself in 10 years? The fuck do I know? I don't even know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. So
I know.
This is one of those things that we got to see how everything plays out and how everything comes together and you know, because we got to adapt to this. After I'm not able to travel right now, I hope it's the last one because we have an insane travel schedule for this year. So there's going to be a lot of things that we'll be able to do, a lot of things that we won't, but there's a lot of things that we'll be able to make sure that get done in between those times. And I'm excited to right now have the weekend kind of to myself, but I'm going to be overseeing that everything goes well in Mexico. And I'm sending Rod. I was actually going to ask you a favor if you could get me my clothing.
I knew you were going to say that.
And we're gonna dress Rod like me because everybody always says like, "Oh, is that your twin brother?" Fucking smartasses. So now I'm gonna send my twin brother out there. He's gonna take all the pictures, and I'm gonna tag myself like that.
I'm gonna have to do that today and tomorrow. Yeah.
What? Picking up the outfits.
Pick out the looks. Yeah.
That's right.
Because when do you guys leave?
They leave on Thursday.
Yeah, me too. No, I think it's going to be great that you'll be able to be at the house and you can like do the work that you need to do, but that you can just be in the house and no one will be there.
That's right.
That's what I said to you. Like earlier this week, I said, holy shit, all of us are going to be gone. And I mean this in the best way, but I think it's great that you're going to be by yourself because you need time by yourself.
I do, big
that's
time.
how his personality is, and I am too. But like you get fussy,
Yeah,
understandably.
It's
but,
too much. I'm always giving my energy to
I mean,
people.
so am I.
Yeah, I understand. But I'm speaking just for myself. After a while, it gets to be too much, and I have
get it.
nothing else in there,
I get it. This weekend you can do whatever you want to do.
like mushrooms and all that stuff. That's fine. That's fine.
You can do. The only thing you're gonna have to figure out is your Uber Eats.
That's a pretty good problem to solve. I feel like I can. No, I feel like I can. I'm excited for it. What's been your highlights of Texas now, of living here? What have you liked, not liked? What are you enjoying? What did you not expect?
Okay. Well, let's talk about the alcohol situation here on Sundays.
Which, by the way, so let me get this straight. What is the alcohol situation here?
Okay. So last
Please.
Sunday, Anna, my assistant, flew in to help with the whole moving process, and she came in on a Sunday. So this is when we were in Dripping Springs, and we went to HEB, which is a big grocery store out here, which is amazing, by the way. And I noticed that they only sold wine and beer, and it was just an interesting observation. So I asked them, I said, do you guys not sell hard liquor? And immediately she goes, you're not from here, are you? I go, no. And she goes, you have to buy hard liquor in a liquor store. There's a liquor store next door to HEB. I was like, oh. She's like, but you can't buy hard liquor on Sundays, and you can only buy wine and beer after 12 p.m. And I said, I'm sorry, what? And she said, yes. And I'm like, okay. And
Why?
because it's the day of the Lord.
Because people go to church in the
Yeah.
mornings, and you're not supposed to go drunk to church. But now, if you can pray for all these guns, can you pray for alcohol?
You say pray.
Pray. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Can you pray for alcohol too? Like, come on, guys. Like, do a little bit more praying in church while you're praying for the guns. Pray for the alcohol too. We need the alcohol more than the guns, at least in our house. I guess I'm just talking about myself.
Yeah.
By the way, that's going to be a nightmare with weed here. They're never going to legalize that
No.
shit. Once I started to realize, because you go to restaurants too, and they're like, I cannot serve you double shot. You're like,
They said that to you?
yes, in some restaurants they do. They don't serve you a double.
So I was actually talking to Kristen, one of my best friends, and she went to college in Colorado. She actually went to Boulder, and she's been living in New York. They just moved back to Colorado, and I had no idea about this, but she said California is like the only state that's like this, because Colorado, you also can't buy hard liquor in grocery stores, or in Utah. And there's a lot of states in the US that are like this. It's really California that's like the most flexible and like the most.
And New York.
Nope. New York, you also have to go to a hard liquor store, she said. Yep.
In New York.
Yes.
I didn't drink when I was in New York
Yes.
that much.
So you have to go to a liquor store also in New York. You can buy hard liquor on a Sunday, but you have to go to a liquor store. So point being, California is a really relaxed state.
Well, relaxed. It just works like the rest of the world. You
Well-
guys know, if you like this type of rules, in Saudi, they actually don't let you drink at all. It's really fun. You guys
You
should
would
try
not
that.
do well there,
You guys should
sweetie.
try that and see how it goes. It's ridiculous. It's 2021. Why? There's no day that's more special than another. There's no day that you should not be allowed to drink. This is my personal opinion. There's no day that you shouldn't be able to fucking smoke a joint and be cool. Like, I don't understand these
It's-
rules, and especially they get me so fucking much when they're attached to religious purposes.
Yeah. Well, Easter Sunday was this past Sunday, and that was really interesting too. Everything was closed. I don't know if you tried going out, but I went to the Domain, the shopping center. And what was really weird about it is that some stores were open and some weren't. So like Nordstrom was closed, but Barnes and Noble was open.
Yeah, it makes no
It made no sense.
because why? It really makes no sense. This is not Europe. This is America, the capitalist motherfucking capital of capitalism in the world. Are we not gonna sell shit on Sundays?
Well, you can't
Are
buy
we
liquor.
not? How many people go to church where it's really affecting the people's businesses to open?
A lot in this state.
That's truly the moral of the story.
Yeah.
There's so many people going to church that these places are like, I shouldn't even open. Can you pray at home? Like, you can send emails now. Like, before, I understand you had to go in person to talk to the person before the phone was invented. Can you pray from home? Can you send an email? There's got to be newer technology from the
Listen,
heavens.
I don't know because I haven't been to church since my communion, but all I know is that was interesting. But overall, it's been great. Everyone's really friendly and
Everyone's
helpful
amazing
and lovely.
Amazing.
Everyone
Yeah.
in our neighborhood's really lovely.
Yeah.
Everyone's super nice. I'm obsessed where we live.
Yeah. I want to ask everybody what they think about this.
Okay.
Because, you know, in a lot of HOAs in Texas, they don't let you build a lot of stuff. They don't let you have certain animals. They don't let you do certain things in your property. And, you know, every HOA has their rules. How would you guys look at it if I just ran to be El Presidente de la HOA and I could just let everybody build whatever they want that adds value to their home? As an expert in real estate, if
boy.
I may. That's right, sweetie. Over $50 million in transactions. Just by myself. No brokering for third parties. No fucking bullshit. Right?
Settle down.
Why can I run for HOA president, add value to these people's homes, to the community, without breaking any rules, without doing anything crazy?
I would just say the only thing.
Open a liquor store on Sunday in the community.
Yeah.
Just for
Well,
everybody
there
that
we
needs
go.
it. Full of aileron. Just ready for
Wow.
everybody.
Oh, strictly professional.
We'll get them water too. They shouldn't worry about it. So I'm saying there are things that I want to do as president of the HOA. Do you guys think it's an insane idea? Because I feel like it's too easy to do it. It can't be that hard to run. I already know a few neighbors that are like, I wish I could do this in my house. Bless you. I wish I could
yawned,
do that
but
in my
thank you.
house. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm bothering you. I'm boring you. What do you think of me running for the HOA presidente?
I think this is going to be your biggest issue with it is that you have no time.
I'm an American
is
now.
that you have no time. And people on HOA take it really seriously.
But if I feel, look, all of my life, I've said, I feel like I can do that. And then I go do it, right? There's no way.
I'm just saying.
Listen, I'm so sorry, but there's no way I can't be an HOA president just by not being there, like at all. I can be HOA president with my eyes closed and deal with shit on Sundays for 5 minutes and be done with it.
Listen, we will get you signs. We'll put them on everyone's lawn. And
Yes.
you'll be the next
I
HOA
feel
president.
You know what? I hope you don't run for HOA president at the same time that I run. Because have you seen the Peter Griffin episode when he
And
runs
Lois?
against Lois for school principal,
Yeah.
like something?
I'm actually thinking of Leslie Knope from Parks and Rec.
I feel like that's what's going to happen.
I'm not going to run.
Okay, good. Because I'm going to run for I'm going to run to
But
be
I
El
am going to
president.
start going to board meetings because I have a couple things I want to say. So,
No.
but so yeah, I love our community. It's so convenient where we live. Sergio's down the street. I'm getting into my groove, you know, like for me, once I got my car, I was like, okay, shit's happening. Like
I think once you got your car, it was important. A lot of things that are familiar were good to you. Like when you saw Anna, when you saw Jose, when you saw Sergio.
oh, yeah, we brought Jose.
Yeah, like to you was like, okay. So I feel like that's a good advice for anyone that's moving somewhere.
Bring somebody who's familiar.
Bring a little bit from the other place into, your transition period so that
Well, for
it
me,
can help you.
Yeah, for me, support was really important because we're moving into a very large home, and I also don't have
I
like
specifically bought this house because it wasn't large, but okay.
our house isn't large.
I don't think so. I think that's why we got it.
Okay. Well, I don't have like my normal support system here, like my housekeeper and, Jose, who's helped us move 6 times. So once they came out, I was like, okay, like I've got my team, this can be done. And I mean, it's been so much better since they've been here.
Yeah, of course. 100%.
So what about you? What's been your favorite thing so far?
My favorite thing here is the people. It really is. I love these people. They're great. I went to a restaurant.
Is it because you're American now?
Obviously, because this is the heartland of my people. This is the backbone of America, if I may say so myself. After I aced my citizenship test. Bet you motherfuckers can't even ace that shit.
100% I would fail. When they asked you like when the Constitution questions, I was like,
1787.
Okay, well, you just
Come on. Are you kidding me?
settle down.
Either way. So,
So you like the people?
you looked it up.
I totally just looked it up. I didn't believe you, and it is the 1787.
He just took the test.
Wow.
It's fresh in his memory.
Just so you all know, by the way, I was so nervous about the test because I've always been terrible at testing. Like when I was a kid, I literally would go to tests, study all night like the day before, and I was like, I understand everything. And I would answer it, and answer from question 2, I would put on question 3. And I would tell the teacher afterwards, if you look at it, I'm just an idiot, and all the answers are 1 below. She's like, nah, 0. I was like, you fucking bitch. So I was really nervous about that being the case. I thought that was going to happen to me right now. So I showed up. This is my crazy, I guess as an adult too, once you start to understand more stuff, learning is easier. I really believe so. Because I read that once. I read this once and I was like, okay, I think I got it. I gave it another read, which never happens. I read it twice and then I went online on YouTube. If you guys are going to do your naturalization test, go on YouTube. There's all these ways of studying and they're incredible. So I watched 2 videos where they ask you the questions at random. Because if you study all questions at the same time, if they change anything, your brain might go like, I can't remember that. But if you study them and you're listening to them in a random order, I feel like that's when it's solid. So I did 2 of those and I was like, man, I got this shit. I showed up. I wasn't nervous, but I was like, there is a possibility that everything I answer will be wrong.
Well, I think it's also important that you tell people that the second you landed in LA, you went to your favorite hookah bar and studied there.
That's right. It was really important to do that.
I literally didn't hear from him for like 3 hours. I was like, where are you? And he's like, where do you think?
Of course. I went to my hookah spot and that's where my friend told me, by the way, we're going to study to this test. Watch the YouTube videos.
He goes, I learned so much.
I aced my test. It was incredible. So why did I get into that spiral? We were talking about it was what did you like about here? The people in Texas. I love the people. I was talking about Grant. Because we went to a restaurant, and I always say dumb shit. Always. You guys are fucking witnesses of this.
Oh, I know.
But I always say dumb shit when a waitress or a waiter shows up. Like I'm talking about the dumbest thing in the world when they show up every single time, and it's embarrassing. And the waitress laughed at it. She was like, you can't see it because I'm wearing a mask, but I am laughing pretty hard underneath this. I was like,
So you gave her a great tip because she laughed at your joke.
I was like, thank you so much for laughing at my joke. That doesn't happen at home anymore.
Oh my God. You're the one who's making this into a therapy session.
So people in Texas were really nice. No, I'm loving it. There's the energy here feels really fresh. And I'm not one of those people that it's like, vibrate at a high frequency. Like none of that shit.
Sounds like it.
But the reality is in here, you don't feel like there's like a pressure that doesn't exist in here. I don't know how to say it.
No, yeah, for sure.
I don't know how to say it.
No one cares. Like
no one gives a shit.
It's so definitely. I feel like the first week it was weird. I was like, the cars, the people, like no one gives a shit what you're doing.
No one gives a fuck about you, and I love that.
And by the way, in a good way, because they actually are very caring, and they would give you a helping hand. Like literally, everyone we've met have been like, what can we do? How can we help? What do you need?
It's not filled with social climbers.
Yeah.
As we like to say in LA, which there's plenty of those. So fuck. I am loving it. And the weather. I like the weather. It's interesting. It's different. It changes a lot.
It's interesting.
I'm enjoying it. I know a lot of people are like, just wait till it gets hot. We used to live in a place that got 120 degrees hot. Like, don't worry about us fucking dealing with the hot. Oh, watch out for the snakes. We also had snakes, rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
So watch out for these nuts, son. I'm enjoying it.
I'm excited for like a month from now when we're really like really settled and we can like, find like the restaurants we want to go to once a week for dinner or like our sushi spot and like all those kind of things. Cause right now we have not been able to do any of that. And, but I have to say like every night that we've been in the house with our Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, today's Monday, right? Today's Tuesday. So we've been there 5 nights. I just can't believe that's our house. Like every time we go out to the backyard, it's like magnificent.
It's so crazy. I was going to say the trails in our community.
It's emotional being
we
out
have
there.
A lake. Yeah. Like there's a lake right underneath our house. Like it's crazy. You just walk out a little bit and there's a swing where you can stare at the lake and there's people fishing. It's nuts. And there's frogs and everything. It's amazing.
There's deers. We saw deers last night on our family walk.
Yeah. And they said that there is mountain lions. I don't give a shit. Okay. I'll give a little hug to the little kitty.
But they were playing football last night and it's so serene and beautiful in the backyard. Like the sunsets, like all of this shit, all of this anxiety, all of the tension, all of the discomfort.
It
I mean,
disappeared into the.
it's so worth
Yeah.
it. And, in the scheme of things, that was a small price to pay for this.
What I like is we really needed this backyard to be that big so that Sergio can really see my arm and try it. He went in.
It was like
deep.
watching Tom and Grant out there last night.
And Gronk.
Gronk. I was like, wow, is that Tom back there?
I know, right? Because he's old.
And then he walked in and he was like, my shoulder hurt.
No, he didn't hurt. It was just getting.
Let the record show that you gave up first. That's all I'm saying.
Did you get the basketball last night?
I have not had time to get the basketball. But
All right.
I assume the same thing's going to happen.
Well,
next time.
Sergio's going to get schooled at basketball. And
No,
we were
we'll
just
see.
playing football. It takes a lot of energy to throw the football perfectly.
Not
Just
if-
because you throw it like weirdly sideways and like
You saw my spirals.
You know.
You complimented me on my spirals.
throwing a spiral sideways. Wow, what an accomplishment. There's none of that, Sergio. And then catching the football. My God.
Well,
I have a
You
lot of
couldn't
complaints.
throw it.
Here's the thing. Sergio's about to get schooled in a basketball game at the house because we have a basketball court in the community. So that school is going to be.
You're not gonna win HOA president when they see you getting smacked up on the basketball.
I'm going to win because that's going to be a murder scene and I'm going to have to report it to everyone. And after that murder scene is cleared, I'm running for HOA president and I'm going to have the same place be a scene where
Do you
everybody
think they're
that
gonna elect
loses.
a murderer?
Absolutely. When it comes to murdering the shit out of Sergio in basketball and all that stuff, yes. I want to number one. That's it. By the way, I downloaded Strava. That's an app.
what is that?
Today, I had the fastest run time of anyone in the community. There's 5 other guys that were running. Can I just say what the fuck is up?
How do you
Wait,
know
are
that?
you the local legend?
Yeah,
Incredible.
Yeah,
I was
I
a local
won that
legend
today.
back in
but
LA.
But there's more people. Like there were 2 or 3 other people
Yeah.
running
How do you?
because it's an app and you just by geolocation it
Got
says
it.
like who's around
Got it.
you.
It makes the routes that are similar to it and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So and that was my first run in 8 months, like you said.
It wasn't 8.
Exactly. Oh, now it wasn't 8,
But look
guys.
at your energy. Like you did not bring any energy to this podcast.
I was dying.
You're like mopey dopey over
I was
here.
dying. Now the coffee got me. So
Oh, good. I'm glad it
I can't wait for Emprendeduros.
It's going to be like you're going to be on fire. Meanwhile, I get saggy naggy over here complaining about the past 3 months. Really? Oh, she's giving us a spin.
I'm sorry, guys. Fiona's here, obviously,
So cute.
and she's been just doing all these cute things.
What do you
First
mean,
off, you guys
obviously?
never mentioned that this isn't your house. I don't want people to be confused that this is your house.
We're in Sergio's.
Oh, we're at Sergio's apartment.
Apartment.
Yeah, thank you, Sergio, for having us. And obviously, he just put those in our honor for the podcast, not because he likes those pictures.
She's so
Yep.
cute.
I'm like, yeah, yes, babe. There's Fiona. Anyways,
Yeah, she has
would you
to be
say,
here.
Would you say this is Chats with Sweetie comeback episode number 1, all done and ready?
I don't know if it's a comeback. I think we need another one.
We'll do another one, and it'll be much better because we won't be stressed anymore. We'll be set.
Our shower will be done.
Our shower
guys-
is to die for.
That's the one thing that's not ready.
Of course,
Obviously.
because you gotta wait for the best things, right? That's what it is. Anyways, guys, I think we're gonna leave you guys with that. Thank you very much for listening to Chats with Sweetie. Remember, we're on Spotify, iTunes, Google Cast, fucking iTunes, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you can find us, we're there. So check us out. Thank you, Sweetie, for your time.
No, thank you for your time.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Sergio, for your time. And I'm
We'll
sorry
see
I'm
you
going to have
next
to
week.
bury you up in that basketball game. Take care, guys. See you next week.